Welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer.
Welcome to episode 33 of Quick Take.
All right, guys. So the Tuesday night football game, don't get to say that too often, between the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills just wrapped up, in which the Titans won by a huge margin, winning 42-16 with amazing performances from their quarterback Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry having a monstrous night as well. Now, guys, the game was filled with many defensive plays by the Titans. Malcolm Butler getting 2 interceptions as well. Our thoughts about this win and the Titans coming back after having a bye due to COVID-19 from last week.
Yeah, so, it was obviously a surprising loss by the Bills, especially almost losing by 30 points, which is insane considering Josh Allen is an MVP candidate. But, what I'm more impressed by is the Titans, they had 16-day layoff, right? A lot of their roster was on the COVID-19 list. They were they were definitely the underdogs in this game, and they still came out and beat Josh Allen. Their defense played really well. Obviously, being over Ryan Tannehill is. Derrick Henry is a top 5 running back in this league. The Titans are a really, really complete team. They got Jadeveon Clowney this year. They got Malcolm Butler, Christian Fulton in the back. So obviously, I think what I took away from this game the most is that the Titans are a legit Super Bowl contender.
I think one word to describe this Tennessee Titans team is impressive. Aaron said it. Mike Vrabel being able to coach a team back after 16 days off, I think it's very impressive to say the least. And the defensive performance, was incredible. The 2 interceptions, and they converted on both of those interceptions. They got touchdowns out of both of them. Not to mention when they scored on the fumble towards the end of the game. It was kind of over that point that the Bills had a little bit of a chance. But even then, with that fumble recovery, they turned it into points. A 41 points scored against the Buffalo Bills team. That's supposed to be what is one of the best teams in the league. It's very impressive to see.
We talked about Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill's spectacular performance, but let's not forget about their tight end, Jonnu Smith. He had 2 touchdowns this game. I think one of them was after Josh Allen's interception, so like a takeaway drive, as Harsh mentioned. He's a great tight end, and like Arian said too, the Titans are a complete team. They have everything. They have all the pieces, and yeah, they are an underdog. Honestly, I thought that Bills would do a lot better. Josh Allen would do a lot better, but it's an off game for him for sure. But the Titans are definitely a team to look out for in the future.
Definitely. Like Arnie, you mentioned, a bit surprising considering the team didn't play last week coming into this game with so much firepower. But honestly, the Titans defense, guys, before this game, it was one of the bottom 3 ranked defenses in the league. But coming out tonight, putting that performance on, it for sure silenced some people who were questioning their defense. Also, the Bills' defense out of these first 5 games isn't really something we expected. It hasn't been that top quality defense we were expecting, and I feel like that's a big part of their loss. Sure, the Bills right now are 4-1, but I feel like that they just completely collapsed tonight. Is this something which is going to continue? Probably not. It might just be an off day, an amazing performance, by Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, and the wide receivers like you mentioned. But I definitely feel like that the Titans are a team to look out for.
One thing I want to mention about the Bills defense, right? They were missing their top 2 corners and their starting linebacker. So, maybe I would cut them some slack for this game. But yeah, this is definitely something to look out for in the future because Josh Allen, if this defense plays like they did tonight, Josh Allen's gonna have to carry this team to the playoffs.
Yeah, and not even that. Next week against Chiefs, like if they play the same defense, Patrick Mahomes is like absolutely going to kill them, and they have to step up their defense. I don't know if they're getting those players back that they needed, cornerbacks, but yeah, if they get their defense to be better, their offense is already really good with Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, obviously, so they'll be a complete team like the Titans.
Well, guys, this game does bring up the question. Josh Allen, the first 4 games, only had 1 pick. This game having 2 interceptions and a tough loss. How does this affect Josh Allen's MVP rankings right now?
We are 5 weeks into the season still. It's too early to call. Russell Wilson's clearly the front runner. But this could just be one bad game. It's a small sample size of 5 games, so 20% of the games have been bad. Moving forward, if this is the only game, Russell Wilson's going to have a bad game. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a bad game. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a bad game. So if this is his blemish, if this is his worst game, I could still see him being He still is top 4 in the MVP race, but I could see him finishing top 4 too at the end of the season.
Yeah, like
For
Carter
me-
said.
Okay, I'll go.
All right.
Yeah, for me, Josh Allen, he was number 2 on my list, and now he's moving to number 3. As Hart said, right, Russell Wilson so far hasn't had a bad game. Aaron Rodgers so far hasn't had a bad game, and that could obviously change in the future. But as of right now, I would put those two ahead of him in the MVP race.
Yeah, for sure. The sample size is too small, like Harsh and Arden have been saying. And if this continues, if this keeps going, but if next week against the Chiefs, if he underperforms, then maybe you might have to put that in consideration of 2 bad games in a row. But for now, I definitely can't say that he's like out of the race. He's for sure in the race. The race is really tight right now, and yeah, obviously I got my boy Russ. He's a top candidate right now, but we'll see how it goes in the next coming weeks.
For sure, a big believer in that one game doesn't define a career, and tonight doesn't do that as well. Like Arden, you said, I still got Russ and Aaron Rodgers in front of Josh Allen. This is one game. Let's see what he does next week. Bounce back we're expecting, and let's see what the Titans are up to as well. All right, guys. Boy, was that an interesting Tuesday night game. Not used to many of those happening, one thing's for certain, but who knows how many more of these games this season will present with the COVID-19 pandemic spreading throughout the league. As always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below your main takeaways from this game and any other games for this upcoming week, which you want to see covered in a quick take format as well. As always, guys, take care. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.